So just again, going to give a very quick introduction. Christie is a math curriculum specialist at McGraw Hill. She spent over 25 years in math education as a teacher, adjunct faculty at Lamar University, teaching math and science methods for K-8 teachers and math consultants. She presents numerous professional development workshops at state and regional conferences, including McGraw Hill products, as well as many original creations. In her current capacity, Christie works nationally with the McGraw Hill sales team presenting K-12 math. In addition, she conducts workshops and in-service presentations for teachers in elementary school, middle school, and high school. So thank you again for joining us, Christie, and take it away.
All right. Thank you so much for having me today. It's a pleasure to be here. So we want to talk a little bit about Reveal Math and how Reveal Math seeks to uncover the full potential in each and every student. I also know that you heard a keynote talk about synchronous, asynchronous, and independent learning. So within the Reveal Math lesson structure, you'll have opportunities for each type of that learning. And I'll try to make sure and point that out as we walk through a lesson structure. I want to start with giving you just a quick idea of some of the philosophy behind Reveal Math. And you'll see that within this picture because we want students to begin with the wonderment of mathematics. So I'm going to ask you in the chat box, what do you notice here in this picture? Changing color. I love it. Cycles. Concentric circles. Oh, and that's one of the key things. I love that, concentric circles. We want to make sure that we amplify the language and not simplify it. So I appreciate that. Motion, energy. Yes, fantastic. So some great answers coming in. And as we have just a short time with us together today, I also want to go ahead and pose the question, what are you wondering? So as those answers are coming in, I'm also going to see, adventure. I love, what do you notice? You notice adventure. So what do you wonder about this picture? Number of cabins, excellent. Is it scary? Yeah. How long does it go? Why am I here on the couch and not in the car? Great. Yes. So some great ideas, but you guys get the idea here that each and every one of us brings something to the table with the mathematics. So we want this to be an invitation to the math. We want to give students that wonderment and that growth mindset. So that's what Reveal Math truly is. Reveal Math is a balanced program that really helps develop the problem solvers of tomorrow by incorporating both inquiry focused and teacher guided instructional strategies so that we can really use students' ideas and discourse as the basis. So that is the key behind Reveal Math. Now, within Reveal Math, it begins with a really unique piece with each and every grade level, and that is the Math Is unit. And we start lesson 1 with Math Is Mine. What we really want students to do here is to show that math gives us powers to solve problems, and everyone has math superpowers. So what's my math story? How can I be a doer of math? What are my math superpowers? So we want you as a teacher, we encourage you to share your math story with students and then allow them to share theirs. As we move through the first unit, it will be an emphasis on the mathematical practices and how students can be good problem solvers and create that positive growth mindset within the math classroom. Now, the Math Is unit will end by defining the classroom norms. So what should our classroom norms for doing math be? So for example, here's one here within the program. within one of the classes, and this was, we want to listen, we want to ask questions, we want to share ideas, we want to agree and disagree respectfully, and I love number 5, learn from our mistakes. So these are some of the keys that as a class we developed as our class norms. And then this is what's so nice. Within each and every lesson, we'll allow students to reflect. So choose one norm you wrote and tell why it's important. So that's one of the unique features of Reveal Math. Each and every grade begins with a math is unit. Now we'll move into our units. And what I really want to talk about in our brief time together is the lesson structure. So the lesson model within Reveal Math begins with a launch. From a launch, we'll go to an explore and develop. And this is where Reveal Math is set apart from any other program. Within here, there'll be an activity-based exploration as well as a guided exploration. So you, the teacher, are always going to have 2 choices to develop the concept with your students. From there, we'll move into practice and reflect, an exit ticket with assess, and then a plethora of differentiation options, including workstations, small groups, and independent practice. So key ways to engage your students. Now, as I said, I know DJ talked a lot about ways for synchronous and asynchronous learning and independent learning. If I had a chance within the class, I would definitely do the explore and develop as the synchronous part of the lesson. And within that, you'll see you have, if you are doing this remotely, you'll have an excellent presentation that'll just guide you through step by step and allow students to develop the math. So let's start with the lesson level, and let's start by looking at the launch. In the teacher's edition within the launch, you will see the learning targets, and those learning targets will be revisited at the end of the lesson for the student. From there, we'll have focus, coherence, and rigor. The focus will not just be on content objectives, but there will also be a focus on language objectives and social emotional learning objectives. So for example, in this lesson, we'll talk about students determine a reasonable estimate by rounding numbers to an appropriate place. But we also have language objectives, which we want students to begin to explain how rounding can be used to get reasonable estimates. And then, of course, bring in that social emotional aspect too, that students build relationship skills as they enhance their communication skills. Coherence among this grade level, but also previous grade levels and next grade levels. And then that balance of rigor. As we all know, the standards, some standards concentrate more on concept development, others on procedural skill and fluency or application. So within Reveal Math, you will see how the concepts developed as we move through procedural skill and fluency and application. This particular lesson focuses on conceptual understanding. Now, for the students, you also have a chance beginning at the beginning of each and every lesson to have a daily focus on number sense and fluency. These were written by John San Giovanni. You may be familiar with some of his books on number sense, and there'll be different routines. Now, these are introduced at the beginning of the lesson, but I encourage you that they can be used anytime within the school day. So let's take a look at one of these number routines. And this one is the mystery number. Use the clues to find the mystery number. So let's start. My mystery number is a 2-digit number with a 4 in it. My mystery number is greater than 20. My mystery number is less than 40. The digits in the ones place is more than the digits in the tens place. Did anyone guess what that mystery number might be? I'll give you a chance to put it in the chat. Up 34. Great job. Yes, yes. So the mystery number is 34. Fantastic. So within each and every launch, once again, that invitation to the mathematics, you'll have the opportunity to help develop that number sense and fluency within each lesson. Not only is that routine embedded in each lesson, but also math language routines to promote math language use and development as part of the math instruction, and sense-making routines. Sense-making routines to build a foundation of problem solving and mathematical modeling. So what does the launch the lesson look like within a student edition? Well, here it is. Just like I asked you at the beginning, what do you notice? What do you wonder? Each and every lesson begins with a be curious moment. And within that be curious moment, it might be this notice and wonder. It might be a numberless math problem. Many of these are written by Annie Fetter, one of the math gurus that was part of the authorship team within Reveal Math. One of the things on the left-hand side, I want you to notice about this page. Notice there's no lines for the students to have, or boxed in for them to put their answer. We want to encourage students to have multiple representations and just really notice and wonder. So we want to develop that curiosity about the mathematics so that students become good problem solvers. Also, as we launch, we want to continue to encourage that growth mindset. So math is, what can I do to be an active listener in the classroom? So you'll see key ways to launch the lesson. As we move from launch, we're going to move into explore and develop. And whether you choose that activity-based or you choose the guided instruction, each one will begin with posing the problem. So today we are going to learn how you can represent the number of peaches in 3 baskets. Now, as I said, in the teacher's guide, we'll pose the problem and then we'll want to begin to develop the math. To develop the math, you'll have the option to choose an activity-based exploration or a guided exploration. If you do choose the guided exploration, know that there is a pre-built presentation that goes step by step to help you and your students develop the mathematics. Now, guys, this is a game changer for me. I think about it and I've got 2 options each and every day to help explore and develop the math concept within my classroom. I also have that additional option. So maybe I did the guided exploration as a whole class, and then I still have some students that are still struggling with that concept. Imagine, I don't have to go hunt for a different way to explain it to my students. I have an activity-based exploration already built into my lesson. Or vice versa. We did a great activity-based lesson, and then I want to move through to see how many, I need to, my students didn't quite understand. So now I can go back to that guided exploration. So as I said, this is a real game changer within Reveal Math. Of course, once we do this and we teach the best lesson ever, then we'll move it back and bring it all together, and we'll allow students to work together to explain and synthesize how the concept that was developed today within the mathematics. We'll also, in the Teacher's Edition, have suggestions to help students with the language of math, to help them provide those multiple opportunities to describe the number of groups, and of course, address those common misconceptions that might show up within the development of the concept as well. From the bring it all together and the explore and develop, we'll move into practice and reflect. The practice and reflect is in their student print edition as well as in their online ebook. And I have to say, this has been a crowd favorite right here is the online ebook, because if you'll notice over here on the right-hand side, students have the option to check their answer. So we like to say practice makes progress, and we want to ensure that students are progressing. So this is allow students to have those multiple attempts to see how they're doing with the mathematics. Another key embedded in practice and reflect is what we call our math replay. So within the practice and reflect, if students are maybe practicing and they're not getting the right answers, there's a math replay video that they can go back and look at. Or also think about parents at home and they want to see exactly what concept was being developed and how it was developed today. Let me share with you a little bit about this math replay video. So I'm going to play this for just a minute.
Today, we're going to learn a new strategy to find the total number of peaches in this picture. We have 3 baskets. Did you notice each basket has the same number of peaches? That means we can say that baskets represent equal groups. Let's draw to represent the baskets and peaches. Each basket is one group. Each peach is one object. So we have 3 groups, with 5 objects in each group. We can use multiplication to find how many objects in all. 3 times 5 is 15. Here's another drawing of equal groups.
So you see, we allow students that math replay to remind them of how we develop the concept within the classroom. Also, in practice and reflect, there's a STEM connection. So each and every unit begins with STEM kids and STEM careers, and then we'll continue that throughout the unit, and we'll end the unit with STEM projects and STEM connections as well. On your own practice, you'll see extend your thinking and that opportunity to reflect. Now, we've looked through a lesson and see how it's designed and tailored for your classroom time and your students' need. But what I want to do now is talk a little bit about assessment. Every lesson contains a short exit ticket that can be done online or paper and pencil. Now, this is not in the student book. It's just one of those assessments that's a black line master, but you can easily assign digitally. This digital assessment allows for quick and easy data collection so you can be informed of different daily opportunities for differentiation. And as I talked about earlier, there are so many options for daily differentiation. Now, if you use this assessment ticket, then you'll be having recommendations. So if a student scores 3 out of 3, they'll have key differentiation ideas to extend or continue to develop there. If a student maybe has 1 or fewer, we might need to do some reinforce understanding activities. So we have the reinforce understanding, the build proficiency, and then of course, extend our students' thinking. Now this is another unique piece that you'll find within Reveal Math. Notice we don't have that traditional approaching level, on level, and beyond level labeling. Here, we want to encourage that differentiation, but as we all know, sometimes I might need a little reinforced understanding in one particular area, but I might be excellent in another particular concept, so I want to extend that understanding. So giving you that unique perspective for students each and every day. This is what differentiation looks like in the Teacher's Edition. And here you'll see that there's opportunities, as I said, to reinforce understanding through workstations, online, and independent practice worksheets. There's also for building proficiency and extend your thinking. Let's look at a few of these real quickly. Here for reinforce understanding, we'll have to take another look.
Jonas separates his 9 books equally among 3 shelves. How many books are on each shelf?
So you'll see here's a take another look. This is an assignable reteach lesson, but I like to share this one with teachers because who thought we were doing so much remote learning? And as I was sharing this with teachers, some teachers have been using this as take a first peek. So whenever DJ talked about synchronous and asynchronous learning, this is an excellent piece that can be used in asynchronous learning time because it's more than a video. It's going to model the concept, From there, it's going to take students into step-by-step examples and explanations, and then it will assess. So it's designed as about a 15-minute mini lesson. And as I said, it is a great reteachable piece, but in these unprecedented times, teachers have also been using this as assignments in asynchronous learning. So take another look. Has been one of the key differentiators.
What do you need to find
within Reveal Math? Others include game stations. Game stations, engaging small group practice, and these were written by another one of our key authors, Dr. Nikki Newton. Many of you may be familiar with her running records. Other activities to help build proficiency, including our digital station, such as our gaming, to help build that fluency through DinoDig. Here's just a quick example. So engaging students in the mathematics. And then, of course, to go ahead and continue to build proficiency, you'll find a spiral review. So there's that great on your own mass practice within the student book, but then you also have distributed practice right here embedded within every lesson. And this, of course, can be assigned digitally or in print. And then, as I talked about, that application station, that STEM project, connection to the real world. So whenever we want to help students extend their thinking. And there'll also be web sketch activities as well as worksheets available for the students. So key STEM adventures. And of course, our web sketch are powered by our own Geometer Sketchpad as we go forward throughout this. So as we said, we tailor to your students' needs through reinforcing understanding, building proficiency, and extending thinking. As our time runs short today, I want to go in and encourage you to reach out to any of us so that you can see a digital sample and share some different ways for independent, asynchronous, and synchronous learning. But I want to ask you real quick, what do you notice about Reveal Math? And yet, what are you still wondering about? And we would love for you to contact us to see more about Reveal Math. So thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Christy. Yeah, that would be the end of today's webinar. Certificates to all the participants will be sent within the next 24 hours. You don't need to have attended all the breakout room sessions. As long as you've attended the main session and any of the breakout rooms, you should expect to receive the certificate. In case you've got any questions about the programs, have any questions from for Christie or for any of our representatives, please reach out to us on the email that I've just shared, and we shall get back to you shortly. Thank you so much for joining us today. And the recordings for the sessions will also be available towards the end in the follow-up email that you will receive with your certificate.